Okay, well, welcome all to the show. I'm your host, Sully. Here with me tonight is the head of Extreme Force Stunts, ultimate stunt training place based here in Austin, Texas, is Mark Anthony Baca. How are you, sir?
Doing great.
Tell me a little bit about this organization. I kept seeing it get some events get promoted on Facebook, and it just seems very intriguing and insightful.
Well, I graduated high school from Austin, Texas at Travis High back in '92,
Okay.
and I got my first role right out of high school on Kickboxer 4, and been doing film on and off for 30 years, in between teaching martial arts, fighting, and I just wanted to come back to Austin eventually. And during the pandemic, I felt it was a good time. I got tired of the politics and the bureaucracy with the film. I just wanted to work. I didn't care about anybody's politics or their views. I just wanted to work. So I came back to Austin, and I got 10 acres, and I teach, promote. I do stunt classes for various different types of stunts, from like westerns, wire work, pyrotechnics, fight choreography,
Everything.
weapon, driving, just pretty much a wide span of 30 years of knowledge and training and learning from my mentors. And I have a school now where I teach and promote people who want to learn safely and correctly.
Sweet.
And we also do our own films. We work on other people's films, SAG and indie films. So we stay pretty busy.
Lovely. Have you ever noticed some resistance from not everyone being comfortable with the amount of diverse ones? Like they only want to do, downstairs falls versus horse riding versus
Oh yeah.
gunplay.
Yeah, most people, I tell them to find where they're comfortable at first. Like wherever they're comfortable at, make that really good. Get really good at that one thing. And then start to venture out into other parts of stunts that are more complicated. That way you can broaden your wingspan and offer more to production.
Lovely. What were some of your icons growing up? From the Vic
Icon.
Armstrongs and John Waynes of the world, just seeing people do all kinds of practical fighting mixed in with an actual gritty story.
Yeah, the practical part of it is kind of like fading out with the CGI and all this stuff, but you still
At
can't
least
be
have a squib, add the gore later, but still have like a blood pack underneath you, to have
right.
most of it look realistic.
Yeah, make it look legit. Like yeah, exactly. And you can't beat realness versus. I mean, you can add to it in CGI, but
Or have the CGI gore, but still have an actual smoke coming out of the gun.
yeah, exactly.
Half and half, I see
Right.
Antoine Fuqua and even more recently the great Walter Hill do that with some of their more recent action movies. And it's just interesting because sometimes it's bothersome and other times you're like, hey, it's good, but still there's one annoying edit I would change. Who were some of your icons growing up?
A
Just
lot of people.
the
I
Clint
didn't have.
Eastwoods.
Yeah, I didn't
Or
have
some.
like I never been really starstruck. I've never been that guy, but I've always looked up to people who weren't just like it's gonna sound corny, but weren't just like the Hollywood. There was more to them besides that. Like Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
I looked up to him because you know his journey. He was trying to start. He was acting, but he was trying to write his first film, which is Rocky, and actually wasn't his first film he wrote, but it's his first film he wrote and was successful with, and no one gave him a chance.
Yeah.
And back in the '90s, '80s, and '90s, when you got to stunts, you could just get into stunts. You couldn't find a school because very rarely they taught anybody because they want to keep the secrets honed in to just their people.
Right.
And it's kind of like that mentality of Bruce Lee back in the day, where we only teach Asians, we don't teach white eyes. You know what I mean?
Aren't you glad his legacy is being honored with new shows like Warrior? Finally.
Right. So.
And there's been all kinds of other explosive action movies that kind of shape the genre, everything from Matrix, Bourne Identity, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, and Rambo. But
Right.
which one stuck out to you as I want to make that kind of movie one of these days, get on a film set like that?
Like the Rocky movies, Bruce Lee, you know, like old school mentality, Commando with Schwarzenegger,
Oh, okay, sweet.
stuff like that got me because it
The
has kind of still have that
staging moves the story forward, and yet you get all these money shots where you're like, that's awesome. Thought went into that.
real stunts.
That real stunts. It clearly was storyboarded. The dozen guys falling off the rooftop simultaneously with the machine gun.
Right. Right. Yeah.
What is your favorite kind of battle environment that you see in some fighting scenarios? Like, do you prefer like Wild West shootouts, war movies?
I haven't done a lot of Western movies, honestly, but I'm getting a lot. Like I'm tied to 2 Westerns right now, and I wrote a Western. So I've done Westerns, but haven't done a lot of them. And I think Westerns are coming back. So I'm kind of like pushing Westerns now with my stunt classes because there's opportunities for my people and myself to work on several films this year and next year.
Oh, lovely.
But the Wire works cool because it's got that superhero mentality of Marvel, and it's okay. But honestly, mine is more like I like the like SWAT, military type stuff.
Yeah.
Explosions, getting shot, getting thrown through a wall, stuff like that.
Wonderful. How did you get to be on so many blockbuster movies like Kickboxer 4 and Divergent?
I got lucky. Honestly, it's like Kickboxer 4. I went to Albuquerque right out of high school, and I auditioned for a role. My speech was really bad back then, and I got really nervous, that stage fright, but they liked me though, and
Lovely.
so they were like, "Hey, why don't you be one of the fighters in the show? But you're not gonna have no dialogue." I'm like, "Cool, I can do that." And then Chuck Norris, when I worked with him, he didn't tell me this, but one of the stunt coordinators was like, "Hey, can you fall down the stairs and not get hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah, easy,"
What
And
movie was that?
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, I didn't see that on your resume. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the credit on there. I'm like, I have like 30 or 40 credits that aren't on my IMDb page, and I can't figure out how to get them to put me on there. Like even some of the ones that say I can't remember.
I find with persistence, if you just keep resubmitting it or rewording it, eventually it gets put on there, but it is annoying.
Yeah, there's some of them that I called. I'm like, "Hey, I was on this film. I was a stunt coordinator. Can you put credited?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll take care of it." A year later, I'm like, "It's not credited. Can you credit it?
I need it on there." Yeah.
So IMDb page is kind of turned into like Facebook. It's like people share for likes and, "Hey, follow my page. I'll follow yours." Me, I don't even get into that. I'm too busy. But I do like to get some of my credits on there. But my resume is a lot bigger than my IMDb page because I put everything in my resume. I put my commercials, I put my music videos, I put down every feature I've worked on. So I have like about 60, 65 credits, but IMDb page is kind of finical. It's like if I can, even the past 3 years, I have at least 10 films that I'm not attached to that I worked on.
That's annoying.
Yeah,
I wish you the best in resolving that. You might just keep complaining to IMDb Pro and just say, "Hey, I'm a member here. I expect better. Otherwise, why am I paying all this money?" So how did you get to be a 6th-degree black belt?
Actually, I started when I was in 4th grade, and
lovely.
I trained. I'm a 6th-degree black belt in Taekwondo and in karate. In karate, I'm a black belt under Jason David Frank, which is the former Green and White Power Ranger, the one that committed suicide last year.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends. I know him for a long time. We get really tight for a while, and then we both get busy, and then we reconnect and get tight again. So it was
you mentioned in your bio how you were trying to avoid bullying, and martial arts was that key thing.
Yeah, definitely. It taught me to have confidence in myself, and then you pick and choose your battles in life, and some battles aren't worth fighting for, and some are. You just got to pick and choose. And
were your parents very supportive?
Oh yeah, very supportive. They didn't like me fighting because they were always worried about me, but of course every parent does that. So
yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Right, exactly. And I'm not saying that I'm against, and sometimes you stick up for yourself. Sometimes you have to defend yourself, or you have to defend other people. And sometimes violence, causes peace. But I don't think that in today's age that we can just like turn cheek like every single time. Sometimes we got to stand up for others or ourselves when it's warranted.
Yeah, you gotta let it out, and you gotta just remind everybody, hey, I'm always gonna be here.
Right.
So you mentioned some very key things and everything, and but what mainly gets you up in the morning? That makes you go, I'm gonna kick some ass today, guys.
Oh, my daughter. Yeah, she's 7,
Oh,
and yeah, I was a single dad for a long time. Now I got an amazing girlfriend. She helps me out, but it's like
kudos, man.
she means the world to me. I'll do anything for her, and I get up early and take her to school, and I do everything I do so I can make sure I'm successful to take care of her. But I want to help her build her future as well. So she's the main person like now. But before it was just chasing my own dreams. But my dreams changed. Now it's like I want to leave her more than just uh, monetary or some land or whatever. I want her to leave her some skill set that maybe she can walk through the next journey by herself when I'm gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You speak very highly of working with Dukes of Hazzard star John Schneider on a recent drama. He's been very local around here, especially in Oklahoma and Texas and Arizona, doing a lot of faith and dramas
Right.
and action westerns. Well, why do you think he just really just puts a crew at ease and makes everyone say, I trust you, I want to do this project with you?
Well, John contacted me. I was surprised. He's like, he
Oh,
wanted me to
lovely.
play he wanted me to play his nemesis. I'm
Where
like,
do you see you?
oh, I've been friends for a while. I've done some stuff for
Oh,
John,
nice.
stunts. I've done lots of stunt work with John,
Kudos.
and but I never acted with John. And he's like, hey, I want you to be my nemesis in the movie. And I thought it was gonna be a small role. And then when I went out there, I didn't realize I had all these lines. I'm like, oh my god, okay, cool.
Yeah, going backwards. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
practice
so I
with
should
some
do it.
people.
Yeah, definitely.
We'd like to
And
do
I
more
don't want.
acting.
Oh yeah, I don't want to let them down. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of acting lately the past 5 years. I got a new movie just came out. It's on Netflix, not Netflix. It's on several platforms, but Amazon. It's called Six Wheels from Hell, and I played the
Yeah,
lead in that one. So that one just came out, and I got 2 more movies coming out this year.
I wish nothing but the best. I was fortunate enough to you got this other old school action movie tribute, Free Dead Alive, which co-stars Patricia Velasquez from The Mummy and Robert
Mhm.
LaSardo from Leon the Professional and CSI Miami. And I was fortunate enough to meet LaSardo years ago at a convention. Just sweetest man alive.
Yeah, and he's old school too. You could tell he's from the streets, and he.
Yes,
I worked with him 3 times on 3 different films, and I was a stunt coordinator on Free Dead or Alive, and I played a guard, prison guard. So
yeah,
that was
double
cool.
double duty. Stunts allow
Yeah.
you to play multiple roles in one project.
Yeah. Patricia Vasquez in the movie, she kills me. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Is she a badass?
she's pretty cool. Yeah, she's tough. I mean, she's not like a fighter, but she's tough though. She's a tough woman. Her lines were strong. Her acting was strong.
It's on
So
Tubi now for those who want to see Free Dead or Alive.
yeah. So she's pretty awesome to work with and watch her work. Watch her do her thing. She was pretty cool.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Uh, and well, why do you think it's getting easier to assemble a lot of these men on a mission kind of movies with the popularity of stuff like Equalizer, John Wick, and Expendables?
Yeah, and you know what? And we go through these stages, kind of like boy bands, right? And it's like movies kind of do the same thing. So they'll go through like these stages to where, you get your Born Identity films, and they're doing good, and then they stop for a while. Then you get your
Yeah,
John Wick and Equalizer, and they're gonna stop again, and then someone else is gonna come out down the road, and do, like Liam Neeson,
Yep.
It's like we'll go through stages with actors, and the storylines might be similar, but these stunt coordinators got to put some cool fighting skills together and take the stunts to a new level. Because if not, then it's just the same thing over again. Different
I hope,
actor.
man. Yeah, because I saw Danny Trejo and Lorenzo Lamas had done revenge movie in recent years, and it looked awful just from the trailer, like just not believable. And you're like, come on, man, where'd
That's
the
funny
money
you
go?
speak of them. Lorenzo Lamas and Danny Trejo, one of the producers for my TV show. I got my own TV show we're filming in the spring. It's called Last Stuntman Standing. We're going to
Yeah,
give
your new reality show where you
yeah
recruit stunt talent.
stunt
I
talent.
like that.
Yeah, and we're going to have celebrity judges on board, and Lorenzo Lamas and Danny Trejo could be on this TV show.
I hope it's a wonderful experience getting them on board. But what was the inspiration behind that? And I know Stallone produced one with Terry Crews, which was celebs competing to be action stars. It barely lasted 5 episodes. There was the Next Action Star on TBS back in like the 2000s. But why do you think this is an interesting concept that hasn't really been explored all that much?
We're trying to take it a little bit more deeper. We want people to have like a connection with some of either the people on the show as contestants, or the people like myself. We want to have them. We want people to get a connection with them, not just weed them out through the show and have a first, second winner or whatever. We want people to like get a connection, fall in love. Like not fall in love like to a stalkish, but like say, oh man, I want this person to do really well. Like I can see that their backstory is like this, and the average Joe is gonna have their dream come true to be an action star, to be in 3 movies, and get paid for it. So, I think the way we're doing it's a little bit different because we're gonna have celebrities as judges, and
Lovely.
and some of the celebrities that can do stunts, like John Schneider, is gonna help us like teach them. So they're gonna get some first-hand knowledge from celebrities who people look up to, and to motivate them, encourage them to win.
Lovely, man. Where do you teach extreme force stunts in Austin?
Actually, it's outside of Austin. It's called McDade, Texas.
McDade, yeah, okay.
Like 25 minutes outside of Austin, Texas.
Why did you pick that location?
Actually, I was in Dripping Springs, but then when everybody started moving to Austin, I got pushed out. Everything went through the roof. It got super expensive, and I found that spot and got a good deal on it. So here I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
And but was there something just particular about the location other than just being more affordable that just really stood out to you?
Well, Bastrop County is growing. There's movie studios coming out there in Bastrop County, and I want to take part of be close enough to the studios where I can network with them. Most studios won't have a stunt crew, and they won't have my experience or my equipment. So I'm hoping that I'm taking a gamble that they're gonna use my services, and we're filming our own content anyways. And with 10 acres, and we're about to get 100 acres, so we can build an official Western town, so we can do Western movies on our own property and rent it out for other productions.
Lovely.
Yep, all in Bastrop County.
What's been some of the best advice you've gotten outside of Schneider and some of these other guys?
Some of the best advice. I'm not responsible for other people's egos. In this business, people can get jealous. Sometimes they're going to put you down. They're going to dog you, talk trash about you. And he's like, they tell me, a friend of mine named Jeff Wolfe, he's a really definitely.
Love that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done a lot.
So Jeff Wolfe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's done a lot of stunts.
Yes. Lots of stunts. He told me I'm not responsible for other people's egos. And when he told me that, I was like, cool. You know what? I won't listen to all those guys that are hating on me because I'm doing good.
Yeah, he worked on a lot of stuff, including Revolution, Buffy, and Avengers.
Yep. And then my mentor, two of my mentors, one of them, Pete Porteous out of Lancaster, right by LA. He's been doing stunts for 50 years, 60 years. He's been doing it for a long time. And he's super, since he was a kid, he's been doing stunts. He's connected with so many people.
Man,
And he's been a really important person in my life. And then Grady Bishop from Dallas, Texas, he passed away a year and a half ago.
rest in
But
peace.
he was an awesome person too. He's like, you know what? Don't let nobody stop you. You keep going. Just because you're not in LA doesn't mean you can't make it in other states. And so I moved back to Texas and I started doing it.
It is interesting how you kind of gotta pull the pull the curtain down and remind everybody, hey, you're not alone in the struggle.
Right. And this business can be good and bad. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a good side and bad sides to everything. And when you're in this business, you start to see who your real friends are or your real supporters are. Um, and my thing, as long as you're an honest person, you got integrity, you're doing things safely, then we're good. I look at some people that I really don't care for. I
hmm,
don't talk about I don't talk about them because they're not important to me.
right,
And but I if they do something, I'm like, I hope they do it safe because one black eye from a bad stunt coordinator can make all of us look bad.
exactly. And if
So
it risks the safety, then this doesn't need to be a conversation. We are already having this conversation. We're saying we're not going to do it this way. This doesn't
right,
work.
exactly. So I'm really big on living by example. So I teach my students, people who train with me. I'm like, look, you know what? This is the way we do things. We hold our classes the way we do things at a higher level. So that's what we do.
And are you really just loving your students' energy and enthusiasm so far? They're really committed.
Kids to like 60, 65-year olds, taking my classes.
Nice.
And I love the energy. I love the kids, the families, the parents. I mean, everybody that's involved. There's a few people that I don't really talk to, associate with because I'm not into the ego people or the ones who have their egos are so big. I
The
just
ones who
can't.
are here just for the
But people
space.
are like, exactly. Like I want the ones that are into the team, like the family, because it takes a team. And if you think you're better than everybody else, then I can't teach you because you know it's just not who I am. But if you're willing to learn and be part of the team, then we can talk.
That's lovely. And uh, it is interesting how, like you say, I mean, I have a brother who used to help train a lot of recruits for the Texas Rangers, and same kind of deal. You would see people who really had their head in the game, and others who were just so full of it, and you're just like, oh, okay, free money, you know.
Right,
It,
right.
I'll wait for you to actually come to me and be interested, right?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like it's like when I it's kind of like when I taught martial arts. It's like when I teach martial arts too. It's the same concept I teach for my classes. It's like I don't teach for the money. I teach for the experiences and the camaraderie and the connections. Because I don't teach people how to do what I learn, then I got to hire people from LA. I want to keep everybody local. So when I do work in the film, I want to know people have my back and they're learning correctly the way I do things and I was taught. So when I leave them to do a project, I trust them. You know.
totally, make it happen. Uh,
I mean, it does now. I mean, I've had guys with me for the past 3 or 4 years, and I put them on sets, and they'll handle it for me. I don't have to worry about it.
Wasn't that great? It's like no need for a secretary. I got my own dude looking out for me.
Yeah, yeah. I got several, yes, and I just put them, I'll manage them, I guess you could say.
Right? Unofficial manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. And when you see someone that committed and seeing their passion come alive, do you just really feel it? Just all that positive energy in the room
Oh
makes your
yeah, I
day,
got this.
doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I got this one kid. His name's Daniel, and he's got. I mean, he's got the black belt etiquette, and he comes to class and he listens and he doesn't talk and he shows respect and he does the stunts and he's amazing at it and he picks up things so fast and it's like, yeah, I like people like that.
Right?
Hmm.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And uh, what kind of martial arts do you mainly recommend everyone just take up as like a starter?
Well, I used to like, if you asked me that question years ago, I would say, this or that. But honestly, a punch is a punch and a kick's a kick. If they take martial arts and there's a combative sports, kickboxing, boxing, karate, taekwondo, any of those, I think they'll be fine in because they're learning technique, proper technique. And when you're doing film, sometimes it's not supposed to be proper because you're supposed to be a street fighter or something. But at the same
Yeah,
time, you learn how to fall, you learn how to roll, you learn how to move your legs, you learn how to balance, you learn all these key things that you need to learn to do stunts. So if they learn those in martial arts class, everything else will be cake.
lovely.
Yep.
And you remember that advice. You remember just standing out in a scene and, dialogue or not, do you ever kind of remind everybody, hey, be doing something in the scene, don't just be standing there?
When you go on set and everybody signs it, and I tell everybody when you go on set, it's your interview.
Yeah,
So every movie we go on, it's your interview. So basically, don't get comfortable to where you
yeah,
mess up.
don't even.
Because
Yeah,
so basically, what happens when you go to interview? You give your best, you dress your best, you look clean, you're respectful. When we go on a movie set, I remind them this is your interview. Even if you've been with me for 5 years, it's your interview.
yeah,
Because everybody that does their first movie with me is out there busting their butt. They're not sitting around picking their noses, trying to get pictures with the movie stars. They're not talking to the girls or the guys. They're working. And I'm like, that's what I want. But what happens is after you get close and you've been in the business for a little bit, you get laxed. Oh, and then you start to mess up. And then that's
I
when
hear
people.
you.
So
I
I
was
got I got.
on I was on a show one time on Queen of the South, and basically the makeup and assistant directors were just ripping each other a new one. So it was kind of a hostile atmosphere. But what
Mm-hmm.
really annoyed me was the lead of the show kept asking the extras coordinator for all the cute extras phone numbers. And I was like, see, no one really wants to be here.
No, and that's so unprofessional. It's like it makes us look bad.
Yeah. It's like, why are we even bothering?
Yeah, this isn't a Tinder date. I mean, come on, you're here to work.
Yeah.
You gotta do that. So,
I don't understand some people.
you know what? It's our society. Things are changing. People are just getting too laxed. They're getting too comfortable, thinking that they can just do whatever they want.
Right. And it's not, if you don't want to be here, it's going to show. An editor can only make everyone look so interesting for so long.
Right. Right. Exactly.
If you're not bringing it, it's going to show.
Right.
Um, uh, any movie stars you'd love to collaborate with in the future, besides some of your current guys?
Um, who would I like to work with? Well, I'm doing some movies and I'm bringing on some people like Eric Roberts.
Hey, go,
You know, yeah. So I got a movie that a buddy of
watching this
mine wrote.
show, Suits, finally.
Oh, that's what I'm watching right now. Yeah, I turned it up.
Isn't it wild to go in stages?
Yes, yes. So he's on it actually right now. I'm watching it. He's on there, and I'm like, oh, there's Eric. So like people like Eric Roberts. Remember Bosworth, Brian Bosworth?
It would be fun, yeah.
Yeah, I want to work with him. I'm trying to get him on my TV show. Um, so the
Cool.
people like Lorenzo Lamas, people I looked up to, those guys, I like to work with them. So
Perfect.
yeah, I'm not really big onto I mean, The Rock's cool, but
yeah, you're not gonna have the budget for him.
yeah, if I can get somebody like even he's passed away, but you know, it's like all these movie stars like from Fast and Furious and the people who have been leaving us the past few years. It's like you know, it's just people, the good people. They're just really good people. And tragedies happen, and you never get to work with those guys. Like Walker, I would love to work with him. Like
Go for it.
He's one guy that I would have loved.
Yeah, either that or they've left the business, so long ago to where it's just like, yeah, you missed your window.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Uh, it'll get better. I feel there is going to be a better way for everybody to do some independent movies, and especially after the strikes that have been happening.
Yeah, I'm hoping that comes to an end soon. I mean, I got a lot of friends that are suffering, and
Yeah,
stuff.
making everyone bleed out, and that's not cool.
No,
I think the feds are going to get involved though, finally, because you can't ignore something like that too long.
no, I agree, 100%.
And altogether, any other things you've been watching lately that you would recommend, especially for martial arts and action fans, as well as people getting into that subgenre?
Well, people like Scott Adkins, and
Yeah,
Cynthia Scott Adkins. He's pretty awesome. He's a real martial artist, with real experience.
he's getting into
Cynthia
bigger
Roth.
productions now.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like John Wick, and then like Cynthia Rothrock. She's a friend of mine, and she doesn't age. She's
I,
ageless.
I, yes, she is, and I contributed to her new Western
Oh, you did.
martial arts.
Black Creek.
Yeah, it was crowdfunded, Black Creek. I can't wait to get that Blu-ray in the mail. But I just love how she and Don Wilson went on multiple podcasts just promoting it. And she's like, and by the way, we're not going for lowbrow like we're typically known for. We matured since then. So we're going to have a gritty over the top movie, but it is not going to be, deliberately stupid or cheesy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I
They got a
accept.
lot of good people in there, like Richard Norton, Billy Blanks. They got a
Yeah,
lot of really cool people
it
in
takes
there.
a lot to coax Billy out of retirement from being the fitness guy, on the home
Yeah.
video. But yeah, Norton, he's made a living doing coordination. He was like a bodyguard for several 70s bands, including Fleetwood Mac. I'm like, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I talk to him every once in a while. Actually, we'll probably start training together pretty soon.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, he's a good guy. I really like him a lot. And, you know, the world isn't as big as everybody thinks it is. It's actually pretty small.
Hey, whatever star power you can get. And if you can at least have a wonderful, fast paced production, that's what really matters.
Right. I'm pretty shocked that you know as much as you know, like Jeff Wolfe and people like this. I mean, most people wouldn't.
I just would always be looking at the behind the scenes. For me, it was just as important as who was the cinematographer or special effects, makeup, or puppeteer. And you look at their credits, and they've done so many key things, whether it was your favorite kids movie or a giant sci-fi franchise or horror and action movies. And I sad to say there was this one convention at Texas Frightmare I went to, I think back in like 2017. And I look back at it now and I'm like, man, I was a fool. I didn't know that I just encountered the guy who's done some key makeup stuff on Hellraiser and Chucky. I should have actually got my head out of my ass and shaken his hand. Not even asked for an autograph, just said, thank you for all you do.
Wow.
But, you try to not pass these off, and you like to also kind of just remind everybody, hey, you're doing good stuff out there, and your tombstone is gonna read loud and clear, this guy did cool shit.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I was always impressed by how back in the 60s and 70s it was easier to be a stuntman just so you could get in and be an assistant director or a actor who would be in some physical roles, like be the security guard who gets shots or the hospital patient who's been set on fire. So you get both your stunt and acting accolades, and it just was always just electrifying to me. Some of the nicest people ever, not at all like their deadly henchmen on screen. It's a good atmosphere. But yeah, I think everyone owes it to just stay tuned after the credits. Don't just look at the first 5 credits. Acknowledge all the people.
Right, exactly. Yep.
But I'm glad you're being part of the scene and keeping your contacts close.
Yeah.
Staying melodrama free.
Yeah, drama free, definitely. I don't like drama, so
Do any of us?
yeah. Well, some people like it seems like I feel like some people like feed off it. Some people like they'll create it and they'll
They're
be
very
like
cynical, and it's a turn off
yeah,
already. And it's like, come on, guys, who
yeah.
lives for
Those
that?
people, I just stay away from them. I ain't got time for them.
I try, man. I try to do the same. It's just like, just let's move on.
Yeah, we just got through with our third film. We've produced 3 features this year, and 2 of them are going into distribution right now. We're done with the deliverables already. Our third one is getting finalized right now. We're
I
starting
love it.
2 more. We got 2 more films we're putting out there this year, so that's 5 films that we've produced that'll be out in the streaming services this year.
Look at you go, man. That's great.
Yeah. So we're trying to do 5 minimum a year. So
Okay, wonderful. And I love how there's all these extra opportunities. There's all these companies that can distribute to these different platforms.
right.
Um, wish you nothing but the best, dude. And just any further advice for those, who want to get into this business but need a push in the right direction on connecting with others and continually practicing.
My advice would be to find if it's acting, um, don't be afraid. Just go out there, work on some short films, some 40-hour films, get to know people, network. That's going to be your best bet for a while. Get some experience, get some demo reels behind you. Practice often, because you practice, see what you're doing, and critique yourself, and let others critique you because you're going to get better. You got to have thick skin though. Don't let it take it personal if someone says you didn't do that good this time. If you're doing stunts, my recommendation is to find a family, because honestly, I mean, you could take a class from someone and it doesn't make you a stunt person.
Yeah.
If you want to do stunts, then join a family, join a team, and learn and be dedicated, be loyal, be good. Help when you can, but learn as much as you can. And if you show your value to a good stunt coordinator or someone that teaches, they're gonna take care of you because they took care of me, and I'm giving it back now. So I get it.
Lovely.
Mm.
And either way, I mean, I'm just glad that just about everyone can start a platform for themselves and keep working with people, big or small, and just create this positive environment.
Exactly. Yeah, we physically cannot do the stunt, but it doesn't mean it can't be part of the team. It takes a team for one person to go out and do something. You don't just do it by yourself. And if you're doing it by yourself, because you're probably doing a short or a low budget film, but if you're being a legit stunt person, then you're working on a project with 5, 6, or 10 other people, and you can be behind the scenes. You can be the safety coordinator, safety person. You can be the utilities, where you move the mat, carry the bucket, you drive the car, whatever. I mean, there's so
Set
much
up
you
the
can do.
rigging, make sure the car
Exactly.
is ready to be blown up by the effects guys.
Learn the pyrotechnics, learn the safety aspect of it. You don't have to have a 6-pack and be able to flip in the air to do that. So anybody can do stunts. You just got to find out what you want to be good at.
Right.
So
Okay, lovely. And where can we find Extreme Force Stunts on the net?
yeah, so if you go to www.goexfo, so GOEXFO,
Wonderful.
and it'll take you to my landing page.
Excellent. So you guys heard it, and we'll be sure to try and provide the link in the episode format. And thank you ever so much for giving an hour of your time.
Hey, I appreciate you.
We like helping out everybody, and we like just telling their stories. But more importantly, it doesn't have to be just, let's have a giant convention and
right,
kiss and make out. Let's actually learn something from people who are working this. This is their everyday life. Instead of just how do you configure social media, how do you be a good person. Well, you kind of got to just be a good person.
Right. If it was that easy, the world would be a better place, right?
It costs you nothing. Kindness, nothing.
Exactly.
Shake the person's hand like you mean it.
Exactly. Respect. Exactly. That's what I tell people all the time. There's value in having respect and discipline.
Absolutely. Well, Godspeed, my dude.
Thank you, buddy.
Be safe out there.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you know when it posts.
All right, buddy.
We'll return after these messages.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? Hi, I'm James Gavsey, and on the Who Would Win show, me and my co-host Ray ignore anything important happening in the outside world and debate fictional battles between characters from comics, movies, and video games.
We got a new show every week, and almost always am I the winner.
Yeah, not true, Ray.
In the past, we've discussed such matches as Captain America versus Darth Vader, Solid Snake versus the Iron Giant, classic matchups like RoboCop versus Terminator, and even the Muppets versus Sesame Street.
That one was crazy. So if you're a fan of geek culture and love a spirited debate, check out the Who Would Win show wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out at whowouldwinshow.com.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up